Oliver, you beat me to it. So I'm going to finish my write-up of what I had to say about Oliver. There are landmark events in our lives that deserve and recognized. And Oliver Morgan, he became a citizen, and there are people from 41 other countries, 70 people took the swearing-in oath in Charlotte. And this hope and this promise of what we stand for is precious. So now let's continue our introductions. Who else on this side? Anybody? Please.
Yep, I'm Rick Talgesky. I'm not new to Unitarianism, but I'm new to Black Mountain.
Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. Anybody on this side?
I'm new to Black Mountain, about 6 months. I drive by this place and I'm like, I'm gonna go there one day and
Great, fantastic, welcome. Anyone else? Okay, well, thank you for coming. We're so happy you're here. It takes a bit of courage to step through the threshold of a new place. So we're glad you're here. Please stay for coffee hour after the service, and we have lovely, welcoming people with orange name tags. They're part of our membership committee, and they would really be happy to talk with you and answer any questions you may have. And if you are interested about knowing more about us and receiving our weekly newsletter, The Current, I invite you to fill out one of the orange cards. They're usually in the back of the pews, or if you don't see one there, they're on the table in the foyer. You can drop them in the offering basket or just put them out on the table after the service and we'll collect them. Now, I would invite you to just listen as I share our acknowledgement statement, which is printed on the back of your service. You may want to follow along. We acknowledge with respect that this land is the sacred ancestral home of the Cherokee and other native peoples who survived and continue to make their home here. We deeply regret the genocide and broken treaties by which their land was stolen, and from which we all benefit. We support the Cherokee as they seek redress for these injustices. We also acknowledge that this country was built on the stolen labor and denied ownership of land to enslaved Africans who continue to experience oppression, economic injustice, and generational trauma. We bear a moral and spiritual responsibility to oppose and work to eliminate the ongoing harm of white supremacy and racism. And as we welcome Reverend Eve Stevens back to our sanctuary, I'm reminded of the times during this past week when I have been called to play. I would not have really had it at front of mind had it not been for the information about her service. And just have to remember George Bernard Shaw's statement about play. He said, "We don't stop playing because we get old. We get old because we stop playing." And so I'm so happy to have Eve back with us today. Let's see, announcements. Oh boy, our Social Action Committee, they're so amazing. They do great stuff. And next week on Saturday, October the 11th, from 2 to 4, they're inviting us to join them to address postcards encouraging voters to act this fall. There are snacks. Usually when there's snacks, we attract a crowd. So if you could bring a few stamps, that would be great. And if you can't stay on Saturday, come by and pick up some cards to address at home. All help is welcome. So now I would like to officially start our service.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good to see you. we light our chalice this morning, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, with a little prayer that in the midst of so much that is broken and urgent, corrupt and unkind, we might keep a little clearing in our heart where sparks of joy can find their way in to delight and tickle and gift us moments of ease. Thank you, Andy. So we're going to start today with a little creative play, and you have no idea what's coming, but it is introvert friendly, so don't panic and leave me. So here I have this piece of paper, and it's got one sentence on it that is, once there was an alligator in a yellow pantsuit who loved gazing up at the stars. So just start to notice, hearing that sentence, how you get curious, what kinds of questions come up for you. Like, where does the alligator live? Or what did he have for breakfast this morning? Or why is he wearing a yellow pantsuit? Or more stirring questions like, what is he afraid of? Or who's he in love with? Where did he go to high school? What did he last fight with his parents about? So with your curiosity as your guide, each of us is going to write a single sentence to continue this story throughout the service. So I'm going to start it over here. And the hope is, we'll have to see if this is hard to hand. Andy, maybe you'll come grab it. Perfect. And it's going to zigzag down this side. And then maybe at the back, Elizabeth, maybe you can grab it. And we'll zigzag back up this way. So it'll end at the front. And it'll be a little distracting because in the service, maybe you'll have to read and then put a sentence, but that's fine. And there's no way to get it right or correct. If you don't feel very inspired, you could put 2 words and trust that someone else is going to carry it along. If this morning you're not going to be able to write with your hands, you can either pass or you can whisper to the person next to you the sentence that you want to add. So, as you will, Jim. Thank you. We'll just continue that. And at the end, I'll read aloud what story or maybe epic poem, depending on where you take it. That'll be how we end today. So any questions about how to do it? No. Okay, great. Today we celebrate the sacred alchemy of silliness, presence, and connection that we call play. And let's sing together. It's in the gray hymnal, number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. Yes, Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song
some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
One day I'll remember to say rise in body or spirit, but you all seem to remember. Now is a time in our service when it is the tradition of this community that we hold space to share in the joys and sorrows that each of us has experienced this week. It might be something very personal. It may be something more global. And whether you have been here many times or it's your first time or anywhere in between, you are welcome while the music's playing to come forward and either light a candle or drop a stone in the water to represent your joy and sorrow so we can hold them with you. Bless you. Grateful for the many ways that you contribute to this congregation. We ask now that you add financial sustenance as well as the baskets pass to nourish the connection, service, and play of this community. Thank you. The last time that I was serving full-time in congregational ministry, I was working at a church that was also a preschool during the week. And my office overlooked the playground. I was never bored looking out of that window. The playground stayed busy with various classes and age groups throughout the day, filled most hours with the rambunctious, imaginative, noisy, energetic activity of children. And one of the things that I could see from my office window were these various metal muffin and cake tins had been bolted to the fence. And then there were wooden spoons and like a metal ice cream scoop on strings next to them. And without fail, at some point in the course of the day, one kid would sidle up next to a muffin tin and take the wooden spoon and start banging away. Or with the ice cream scoop, which really carried. And then someone else would join in on the cake pan and on and on. And before you knew it, there was an impromptu rhythm section, having a heck of a good time, playing music that few of us have the capacity to appreciate fully. And around this time of year, I would notice another popular group activity happening on the playground. The teachers would give everybody a push broom, and each push broom was at least 3 times the size of each child. And then I would watch as each kid pushed leaves around in a joyous communal rustling for the better part of an hour. They didn't so much push the leaves into piles or try to clean anything. From the looks of it, they pushed leaves around to push leaves around, to hear the whoosh of the broom against the ground, the crinkly sounds the dried leaves would make. They'd watch with delight as the leaves flew off in all directions with each forceful shove of the broom. And when it was time to go in from the playground, they'd put their brooms away in the shed, leaving the playground much messier than they had found it. Play, it seems, does not require that something is finished or produced. Play does not require purpose. It is not necessary to have an end goal. Play exists for its own sake, an experience to have, not a task to accomplish. Play, in that sense, is a form of raucous, exuberant meditation that pulls us fully into the present and allows us to be rather than do. We as adults can feel a little stilted or silly when we try to play. But kids, maybe one of the ways that you can tell they are still a kid is that they know instinctively, easily, without embarrassment or hesitation, how to play. For example, when our neighbors got a new grill outside, they delivered the box that it came in to our front steps. And I saw it and thought, boy, what a pain in the tail that's gonna be to recycle. But my kids, Ethan and Hank, saw it and their minds exploded with possibilities. They climbed inside and giggled in the inner box gloom. They cut holes in the top, so now they could look up at the stars from inside their box. Before long, the box could float, it could fly, It was a cave where a gorilla and an elephant had taken up residence together. Then they went on to run a series of experiments with the box. They tried to use it as a bridge between the couch and the kitchen counter. Of course, they discovered it couldn't bear their weight and crumpled and down they went. But somehow this collapse was not a failure. They didn't berate themselves for poor planning, for insufficient forethought. They didn't spend the rest of the afternoon fixating on what an unproductive waste of time that venture had been, chastising themselves to be more responsible, to know better next time, as we so often do when some attempt does not go according to plan. When the boys discovered that their bridge crumpled under their weight, they went back inside to punch it into shape, and they turned it into a dilapidated but seaworthy boat instead. When we are doing serious work, it's scary to fail. There are consequences, and a correct and an incorrect way of doing things. When we get it wrong, it often feels embarrassing. We think, God, am I even an adult? In play, it's safe, truly safe for things to turn out differently than we had at first imagined they might. There is no incorrect, only opportunity. When we play, we follow an unfolding process, carried along by it, not knowing where it will take us. Some days it is hard to believe, but there was a time in each of our lives when it was very hard to remove play from anything we did. There was a time when we scribbled color on a page, not to accomplish something, because it felt good to move the marker back and forth. And we enjoyed watching the way the colors mixed together. We colored or drew not to get anything done, but simply because we were curious about how this thing we were making might turn out. There was a magical time when we didn't go outside because we needed to get our cardio in for the week. There was a time when we moved outside in beautiful bursts simply because it felt good to run fast, to feel sunshine warming our clothes. We played outside because we liked the way it felt. It was enjoyable. And not that we needed a reason, but if we did, liking the way it felt was reason enough. I am the resident extrovert in my extended family. And every Thanksgiving, though they dread it, though they curse me, I make my extended family play charades. And once they surrender, the fun begins. My uncle, who can be a serious-minded engineer, my mom, who does not always love letting go of her inhibitions. By some magic, everyone does let go anyway. And any typical social rules or etiquette or decorum falls away. We become completely unself-aware. The masks we wear to fit in and be acceptable members of society are gone. And we become vulnerable to each other in a very unexpected way, seeing each other behave in a way most people do not see us behave. movement and words springing out spontaneously without planning, without consideration. We forget to monitor our facial expressions. But it is also understood that we are safe enough to be less careful, less aware. No one says it out loud, but when we enter into play, we draw an invisible circle of safety around our experience together. We enter into a sacred, unspoken pact that none of us will be cast out or removed from this belonging simply for being weird. Play creates a circle of safety, an unspoken pact of belonging. In her book, Deep Play, Diane Ackerman puts it this way. She says, "In rare moments of deep play, we can lay aside our sense of self. We can shed time's continuum, ignore pain, and sit quietly in the absolute present, watching the world's ordinary miracles." When I watch my family play charades, faces relax, all the worry and anxiety that hung around us all day loses interest and finds somewhere else to go. We arrive in the present moment. Whatever our disagreements, we belong together. It is indeed an ordinary miracle. Too often we act as if seriousness and intellect are the only appropriate measures of what is important. Elsewhere in her book, Diane Ackerman writes, "What we call intellect, intelligence, may not be life's pinnacle at all, but simply one mode of knowing." In other words, perhaps not all important things are serious things. Perhaps each of us, our lives, are more than a means of production. Perhaps meaning isn't only found through struggle. Sometimes the why of our life, our purpose, what we are made for, sometimes the answer floats toward us on a perfect temperature breeze without any effort at all. Because we are beautifully fashioned for pleasure, for joy, for play. Blessed be. Amen. So Sue is magnificent, as we already knew, but was an excellent sport this week. I asked if she could add to her pile of things to do, if we could play Name That Tune together. So if we don't get them, Sue, it's our fault. But you're going to play the intro, I believe, to 3 different songs. I don't know what they are either. And if you know it, if you would shout it out, we'll see. And when it ends, we can do it with a little more decorum if you want to. Okay, Sue, you're ready. Country road. Country road.
All right, let's
She
see.
covered it.
Let's see.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good job.
Save the last dance for me. You can dance. I think Save the last dance for me. Yes. Save the last dance for me. Yes, we did. It took we had a few guesses and then we came to it at the end. Oh, that's great.
All right, let's see, what else we got here? Ah, here she comes with another one.
I know.
Wait a minute. Peter, Paul, and Mary originally? I can't remember. 100 Miles? Yeah. Oh, that was excellent, Sue. That was so good. John Denver.
John Denver was the first. Okay.
John Denver. Who the other one was?
Country Roads. And Save the Last Dance for Me. That's a great one.
Who wrote that?
I don't know. We'll have to look it up. Save the Last Dance for what? Save the Last Dance for Me.
Oh, no, it wasn't that.
Oh shoot! Here we thought
No, you didn't get
we
that
weren't 3 out of 3. I thought we were.
one? All right,
Oh.
try it again.
Oh,
That
good.
wasn't it?
No.
Oh.
They must have taken the. I don't know. You lately that I love you. Lately that I love you. Telling you now. Wow. I'm gonna have to look up if it's the same tune as Save the Last Dance for Me.
Yes.
That's great.
I don't
That
know
was,
where that came from.
we were wrong, but you stuck with us. Okay, everyone, believe it or not, we're gonna take a moment in meditation together. Just feeling that good energy from the music, pausing a moment to feel it.
and to deepen your breath so that sparkly, more joyful energy can circulate a little better in through your nose, out through your mouth. And as you breathe, just let the corners of your mouth move upward slightly in a gentle smile. Just holding that gentle smile as you breathe, letting it bring some ease into every joint. And as you breathe, I offer you these words from the Sufi poet Hafez. All day long, the earth shouts, "Gee, thanks." Such an exuberant gee. It starts throwing things as if God were passing by in a parade, encouraging rowdy behavior by looking so beautiful that a whole avalanche of mania swoops in. I like the idea of throwing things at God, and especially God making us rowdy. Thus, as soon as Hafez is out of bed, I start stuffing large sacks with old shoes, cucumbers, and prayers for the upcoming consecrated free-for-all, and who knows what else. Amen. So the last hymn that we're gonna sing together, I'm kind of wishing now we'd done just a spontaneous, see if we can all get it, because that was so fun. It's 1024 in the teal hymnal, and Sue will probably play it through once. The cadence changes a few times, and I'm gonna try to sing loud. I have a very limited range, and you won't wanna hear me, so try to drown me out. We'll listen once and then sing, so when you're ready, rise in body or spirit. All right, let's do it. We got it. Do what the Spirit says do. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you've got to do. Oh Lord, you've got to do when the Spirit says do. 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 Got to sing when the Spirit says sing. You've got to sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, you've got to sing, oh Lord, you've got to sing when the Spirit says sing. Spirit says sing, 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 Spirit says sing. Woo, that was That's great. So now the moment of truth, guys. How far along did the story get? Okay, I'm so sorry, not everybody. This sermon was short, I think, is why we didn't get to it. Okay, so this is our benediction, though, nonetheless. Oh, good job. Oh, duh, Eve, there's a whole nother page. Okay. Once there was an alligator in a yellow pantsuit who loved gazing up at the stars. It was hard to look up at the stars. He needed help. How else could he pick out the one to reach for? Aliello, Aliello is his name, I think now. I love that. So wanted to return, but he knew he needed a whole community to help him. He couldn't think of a single alligator friend in this moment, and his eyes welled up with tears. He sighed, looked back on high, thinking, I don't know why. See, there's the poem, epic poem. We love your yellow suit, Mr. Alligator. And Mr. Alligator started hearing voices. Friends, swim in hard boundary waters? Aliello, confused, looked around, and down the road he saw several figures coming towards him. He recognized the smallest person, a little girl he had seen several times skipping stones into the lake. She stopped and said, hello, alligator. I love your cactus flower pinned to your lapel. After a while, Crocodile threw the flowers at a toadstool, maybe. The stars, what was it? Tombstone. Oh, that's important. After a while, Crocodile threw the flower at a tombstone. The stars hummed. The alligator shed a tear, took a deep breath, and said, until we meet again. Somebody was done with this story, but until we meet again. As the alligator continued down the road again, looking for the elusive friend, she recognized her old friend, the North Star, and wondered how she got her name. What star will I dream of going to visit now? But first I have to save my hemlock trees. That's the end. Good job, you guys. Really good job. That should be published. Okay, thank you, everybody.